What You Need to Know is sponsored by Canadian Tire.
We all know that gasoline engines require fuel to run. The fuel is injected or sprayed into each cylinder, but if there's no spark, the fuel won't ignite. So, spark plugs are vital to the operation of every gasoline engine, whether they're big or small. Your spark plugs fire millions of times each year, resulting in wear and tear. Worn plugs can decrease gas mileage and engine performance as they gradually lose their ability to run at peak efficiency. When it comes to your vehicle's service, we all know to change the oil on a regular basis. Depending on your vehicle, after 80, 120, or 160,000 kilometers, your spark plugs get worn down. So replacing worn spark plugs can restore your engine to provide peak throttle response, power, and fuel economy. The recommended spark plug replacement interval is individual to each vehicle model. Even two vehicles from the same manufacturer can often require the spark plugs to be changed at different times. So, it's essential that you check your vehicle's owner's manual to figure out how often you need to change them and exactly what type you need to use when you do replace them. A rule of thumb when replacing spark plugs is that you use a high-quality brand like Champion that either meet or exceeds your original manufacturer specifications. There are many different precious metals used in the manufacturing of spark plugs, like copper, nickel, platinum, and even iridium. When buying replacement plugs, you will need to use a plug with the same technology and material to ensure the plugs will provide peak firing performance. Using the wrong type of plug may result in your vehicle's engine running poorly and in premature replacement of the plug. Here's an example of how unique each vehicle is. We took two of the top-selling vehicles from 10 years ago, the 2003 Honda Civic and the 2003 Ford Escape. The Civic uses an iridium platinum replacement spark plug, and the Escape uses a platinum plug. Double platinum and iridium plugs can last up to 160,000 kilometers, while single platinum plugs can last between 50 to 80,000. If you're unsure which plug to use, consult the parts counter lookup tool or ask the parts counter to verify the correct plug. It's definitely worth a few moments of your time because the advanced engine management computers that compensate for failed spark plugs can only compensate for so long. And when the time comes, it could leave you stranded, and it often happens when the weather gets cold. Replacing your plugs with a high-quality brand like these Champion spark plugs will restore your equipment's original performance and save you a trip on a tow truck. As I mentioned earlier, engines big and small need the correct spark plugs. Lawn and garden engines should have their plugs changed every year, and there's an easy online tool to help you look up the correct plugs. Modern gasoline engines are filled with all kinds of advanced engineering, but the same basic principles apply. Fuel needs to be burned in each cylinder, and without a spark, it won't run. So, listen to your car. If it's not running smoothly, it coughs or sputters, it might be trying to tell you something. Check to make sure when your spark plugs need to be replaced, and use a high-quality brand like Champion to keep your vehicle running at its best.
Driving Television is brought to you by Canadian Tire. Get everything you need to be ready for driving at Canadian Tire.
Full-size cars are not a staple in Canada. We prefer smaller to mid-size sedans. However, there are still buyers out there that like a big car to smooth away the miles on a long road trip.
Well, how about the Toyota Avalon? It's based on the same platform as the Lexus ES. It has a starting price of $36,800 and it's about $2,700 less expensive than the Lexus. But the big question on both of our minds is, why would a potential buyer choose this Toyota over the more prestigious Lexus? Well, the answer is twofold. Toyota is trying to move their products away from being a logical purchase to a more passionate decision. And this new Avalon is filled with lots of goodies for the money.
The front of the car is a bit polarizing. You either love it or could take a pass. I think it looks a bit like a fish swimming, but in this era of oversized front grills, it has a place. The shape flows from the front to the rear. The fish analogy might not be that far off, as this big car looks like it's slippery and smooth. The base XLE comes with halogen headlights. The top limited trim is fitted with HID headlights and LED marker lights. Both come with 18-inch alloy wheels and dual chrome exhaust tips. The Lexus ES, however, comes with 17-inch wheels as standard equipment.
The exterior styling is a big change over the last generation, which I think was a little bit conservative. But it's the interior that might have a few people a little bit confused. Now, traditionally, Avalon buyers are a little bit older, so putting a futuristic, updated, modern dash, though it might be welcome for some people, could be a little bit too much for others. The center console is covered in a hard plastic that has a slight grain to it. Instead of conventional buttons, this new Avalon has touch-sensitive tabs, very similar to a touchscreen smartphone. These operate the information, entertainment, and heating functions. They're very sensitive to the touch, but they can be operated with gloves on. After a while, they're easy to control, but the hard plastic surface starts to show marks from oily fingers. Surrounding the center console and along other surfaces is smoked chrome that also shows fingerprints and dust. This is a big, comfortable car. There's tons of space in the back seat and lots of room in the trunk, and all the seats are very comfortable. Another objective with this flagship sedan was to make it more appealing to a wider range of buyers. The previous model was so smooth and refined, with little feedback to the driver, it felt disengaged. For 2013, the engineers have made a concerted effort to make this a more dynamic car. Now don't kid yourself, this is no Canyon Carver, rather a more engaging ride with a closer steering ratio, firmer suspension, and less body roll. The proven 3.5-liter V6 engine that's found in the Camry and Lexus can also be found under the hood of this Avalon. This front-wheel drive sedan has 268 horsepower and a very slick 6-speed automatic. Paddle shifters are offered, but they kind of seem out of place in this Boulevard cruiser. This limited model can also be equipped with the premium package that includes dynamic cruise control and a pre-collision system. Driving this Avalon can be described in 2 words: smooth and comfortable. Acceleration is effortless, you barely feel any bumps on the road, and the brakes are incredibly responsive. Now the steering is a little bit light, but I like it.
And we have mentioned already this is based on the Lexus ES platform, but really this Avalon and the ES are a lengthened version of the Camry platform. Now the Camry and the Lexus are available as a hybrid, and they haven't decided to do that yet with this Avalon. Now Toyota has said they want to expand all of their vehicles to have a hybrid option, so expect to see that coming in the next few years. At the end of the day, this new Avalon produces a similar ride to the ES, but with a cheaper starting price and more standard features like leather seats for a price that's not that much more than a fully loaded Camry. A topped-out Camry is just under $35,000. This is the market that Toyota can exploit. If you're in the market for a Camry, the Avalon offers a lot of features and a big, comfortable package. Now, they've gone to this platform that is lighter than the previous model, and the car definitely feels more planted. The suspension is firmer and you get more feedback, and you actually can feel the road and what the car is doing beneath you. So if you're looking at a Camry, this Avalon definitely is an option.
Well, Zach, what do you think of the new Avalon?
Well, first and foremost, it's a much better handling car than the previous model, which really floated along, had not very good steering input, much more nimble. It's a lighter car. It has a great motor that's tried and true, and it definitely does a good job. It's a cheaper car than the outgoing Avalon as well. At $36,800, there was a lot of value there. They packed it with all kinds of goodies, even when you compare it to the ES that it's built off of. Now, on the downside, there's a couple of things that I don't like. The screen in the middle of that cluster with the touch screens we pointed out is a bit small. You look at companies like Chrysler have the big 8.4-inch Uconnect screen. Also, the front end styling, Lacey, you're either going to love it or you're not going to like it. It is polarizing, so you decide at home. Lacey, what do you think of this car?
Well, you know what, Zach? I absolutely love the exterior styling. I think it looks fantastic. It's got that proven 3.5-liter engine. It's an incredibly comfortable car, and there's lots of space both for the passengers and for cargo. On the downside, I'm not crazy about the interior either. I don't really like how it looks, and I'm not a big fan of the touch-sensitive controllers. Well, Zach, we mentioned at the beginning of the show, why would somebody buy this Avalon over the Lexus?
Well, we also mentioned at the beginning that most Canadians buy smaller to mid-sized cars, and some people are going to go to the Toyota dealership and drive this car and look at it and say, you know what, for just a little bit more, I get a lot of car, and you're really stepping into an entry-level premium vehicle, and I think that's who they're going to sell the Avalon to.
Looking for a luxury car? Our reviews are available 24 hours a day at drivingtelevision.com.
Audi melted my heart when I first drove an A4, and over the years there have been several more reasons to fall deeper in love with this brand. All of the improvements made to each generation of the A-Class, the very aggressive R8, and now this very good-looking performance-based S7 sedan. I think the S stands for sexy. The sleek lines of the front grille blend flawlessly with the lines down both the driver and passenger doors. The quasi-hatchback design gives the back end a look that is very distinctive. Sleek lines, low stance, and unique styling makes this vehicle stand out in a crowd of some very handsome-looking cars, like the Jaguar XFR and BMW M5. Because of the sloping roofline, the trunk's usability is slightly compromised, but there is a pass-through and the seats fold down, so there's plenty of room for cargo.
Here we go.
The interior is everything that we've come to expect from Audi. Luxurious, simple-looking, and filled with technology. The Velcona leather seats are hand-stitched and oh so comfortable. Cylinder-on-demand technology, Quattro Sport differential, Servotronic speed-sensitive steering, and the Sport Adaptive Air Suspension are just a few of the standard features available on the S7. The S7 is powered by Audi's all-new twin-turbocharged 4-liter V8 engine, and it puts out a very impressive 420 horsepower. Now keep in mind that's 110 horsepower more than the A7's 3-liter V6. This beast can go from 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in 4.7 seconds. We mentioned before that the S7 has cylinder-on-demand technology. This means that the car turns cylinders on and off to help conserve fuel. This technology, along with active noise control, works with the car's audio system so that the occupants are unaware of the cylinder deactivation. The A7 has a starting price of just over $70,000, and it still holds incredible presence in the marketplace. But for just another $20,000, you can get added technology, more horsepower, and an even sexier looking profile.
Looking for a high-performance car? We have the latest models on our website at drivingtelevision.com.